Now I think we have some sound. Can everybody hear me? What is up, guys? Welcome to another live stream. I am Rav Holly, the American Nomad. Looks like I already have some people in the room. We got one person in the room. Random Nomad. Let's see if YouTube will remind me on time for this one. Christina Harper. Hey, Christina, how are you? Was blind. Set the reminder. Hey, was blind. Don't know who we have in the room as of now. Let's see. It shows we got two people in the room. Let's see if we can get I had some things going on, so I'm a little what is the word I'm looking for? I am a little not prepared as I had planned on being. A little disorganized. Let me get organized here, guys. All right. I believe we got, hey, Ambo Life. What's up, guys? Man, I just saw your Instagram post on Instagram, Ambo Life, Devin and April, and you guys are out there where it looks really nice. Hey, Eve, Brooklyn English Bulldog. Good to see you, Eve. I've actually known Eve for several years. She used to work, or she still works for my actual old boss, Mr. Ken Pavia. The Pav. Oh, Nomad Unbroken Raid. Yeah, some people are going to be coming over from Nomad Unbroken. I was just in his live stream. Good to see you, Budget, Bushcraft, and RV Live. Thanks for coming over from Nomad Unbroken stream. Ambo Life here and see you loud and clear. Awesome. That's good to hear. Actually, it's a little loud on my end. Let me see if I can turn it down just a tad. There we go. Yeah, much better. Another Nomad Unbroken Raider. Hey, old guy on a bike. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you guys for coming over. For some of you that are my regular viewers, if you don't know, I was just in my buddy Nomad Unbroken. I was just in his live stream about 30 minutes ago, and some of his loyal viewers are coming over to check out the stream here. So I welcome you guys and appreciate you coming over. Good to see you guys. Everyone just calls me Budget. Okay, Budget. That's exactly what I'll call you, buddy. Jennifer. Hey, Jennifer. Another Nomad Unbroken Raid viewer. Thank you, Jennifer, for coming over. Good to see you. We got 6 people in the room. We got 4 thumbs up. I want to say thank you guys for the thumbs up. I do appreciate it. 5 thumbs up. There we go. How's everybody doing today? I hope we're all still in lockdown, it seems like. Thanks for all of the people that came over from Nomad Unbroken's live stream. I really appreciate that. Hey, was blind. Another one. Man, we got all kinds of people here from Nomad Unbroken's live stream. So let's get back to Devin and April with Ambo Life. I was just on your Instagram a little bit earlier today, and you guys are out there in God's country. You guys are doing it right. I'm still here in LA because this is where my studio is. If I want to live stream and stuff, is where all my stuff is. So, but you guys, and I saw Paul Barger. My cap's crooked. Paul Barger and Ellie are up somewhere on a farm or somewhere in maybe Northern California or somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where they are, but man, it looks really nice where they're at. Let's see. Totally locked down there in Indiana. Yeah, Budget. That's pretty much the way we are here in LA as well. It's pretty crazy. Ambo Life says, we are going to be putting out some good content from this locale. I could imagine. That's a really good locale, Ambo Life. Van Life with Gina Payne. Hey, Gina. Welcome. Good to see you guys. How's everybody holding up during the quarantine? I actually posted I posted on my Instagram today. I posted a meme that it's like Maury Povich from the Maury Povich show. And it says, everybody's posting that picture of them living in a cabin for a year with no internet. 14 days of quarantine determined that was a lie. Hey, Nomad Unbroken. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. So that's my buddy Nomad Unbroken. I watch a lot of his live streams. I've been watching a lot of his live streams for quite some time. He's a good friend of mine. I guess I should say he's a good internet friend of mine, or a good YouTube friend of mine. We've been talking for quite some time. I think we found each other actually through Paul's channel, or he found Nomad Unbroken. You found my channel through Paul, me being on Paul Barger, the Bread Truckers channel, correct? Ambo Life says April has been practicing a lot of the cello. Yeah, I've seen a couple of those videos. She plays the cello really beautifully. I wish I could play the cello like that. Uh, Gina Payne says doing good here in Southern Oregon. I guess everybody's is everybody kind of cooped up? I mean, I've just kind of been staying to myself. I don't know what everybody else is doing. I mean, I come in my office and do my stuff in here, which is mostly on the internet and stuff. And then I basically just go hang out in my truck and watch some Netflix, and that's about it. I actually had to go do some shopping yesterday. I had to get out and get some things, and it was a little weird and unnerving. There's a lot of people here in LA that just aren't paying any attention to the social distancing, or they're just oblivious to what's going on. So made it a little bit weird. Was blind, Arkansas. Hey, Arkansas, staying in. I guess we are in a really weird time, guys. It is a very strange time. But we will be looked back on, no matter what happens, we'll be looked back on in history. This will all be, it'll be, it's something that they'll be, like we talk about the Spanish flu of, what was it, 1918 and 1919. So, yeah. Ambo Life says, we haven't spoken to anyone face to face in about a week, just FaceTime and video chat. Yeah. Gina Payne says staying in the van pretty much and watching Netflix and Hulu. Yeah, I'm actually thinking about. It's funny because I worked on a TV show. The last TV show that I was working on pretty much on a regular basis was 911, but then I jumped off of 911, which is a Fox show, and I started working on another show on HBO called Westworld. And it's funny because I don't have HBO. I've never had HBO, but I'm actually thinking about, with everything that's going on, I'm thinking about installing the HBO Go app or whatever it is, so I can actually finally watch Game of Thrones and watch my show that I actually worked on for HBO, which was Westworld. I never really watched the stuff that I work on, but I worked with Aaron Paul, who Breaking Bad was one of my all-time favorite shows. And I worked with Aaron Paul this third season of Westworld. So I worked with him a lot. So kind of thinking about trying to do the old HBO thing and watch some Game of Thrones and watch some Game of Thrones and watch some Westworld. But I will tell you guys what I've been watching on Netflix. So if you guys have not seen The Tiger King on Netflix, you do not know what you're missing. If you like to watch a train wreck, the funny thing about the Tiger King on Netflix, it just came out on Netflix. The funniest thing about Tiger King on Netflix is it is so bizarre that it's so fictional, but it's actually true. The whole thing is true. Like every single one of these people that are into like big cats, they all have some kind of crazy. It's insane. It's if you haven't seen Tiger King, you got to do it. It didn't take that long to watch the whole series, and it's mind blowing. Like you literally cannot actually believe this is real. It was real life. But has anybody seen Tiger King on Netflix? Was blind says Netflix needs to add more. I agree with that. I think with all of the other streaming services coming up, was blind. I think Netflix is hurting now, because now you have Disney and you have all of these other Hulu, and have all these other different streaming services. So I think it's making Netflix where they're just not getting all of the great things that they used to have. I will say that what was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. Mine just went blank. Gotta love that. But yeah, I will say that I watched original series. It's called Kingdom. It's all captions because it is all Chinese, which with everything that's going on is a little crazy. But it's a Chinese. I think it's all produced in China as well. But it's all in Chinese, and it's called Kingdom, and it is way, way, way better than. It's way, way, way better than The Walking Dead, but it's kind of along those same lines. It would be kind of like The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise meets The Walking Dead, I guess, but it is really, really, really good. And the second season of Kingdom just came out. My beautiful co-worker, boss, whatever she is, Serena Vo, she's the one that texted me a couple of weeks ago and told me to start watching Kingdom. And she's super picky, so I was like, well, if she likes it, it's got to be good. So I started watching Kingdom on Netflix, and it's really good. And I'm not into that whole zombie horror stuff, but it's really good. So we got 8 people in the room. We got 8 thumbs up. Wow, that's an anomaly, having 8 people in the room and having everybody giving a thumbs up. Nomad Unbroken, are you still in here? I actually I wonder if his phone went dead. Anyway, Nomad Unbroken, if you're still in the room, I actually gave you a wrench, buddy. So want to say thank you for everything and coming over and bringing half your crowd over. Van Life, Gina Payne, Old Guy in a Bike, love your channel trailer. Old Guy in a Bike. Thanks, Van Life, Gina Payne. Getting a little interaction. Adina Lamtens. I don't know how to pronounce your last name, Adina, but hi, Adina. She said she'll be right back. Was Blind says, got the Tiger King going. Yeah, good. Have fun with that one, Was Blind. You'll have fun with that one. Tiger King is something else. Totally Relaxed. Hey, Totally Relaxed. How's it going, buddy? Welcome to the room. I'm just kind of wondering, like, has anybody else been watching the news? I've been, I don't think too many of the people in here or anybody in here actually watches or keeps up with my Facebook. It's so funny how that works because I have a big following on my personal Facebook. Eve, probably Brooklyn English Bulldog. She's probably my only Facebook friend in here. But I have a lot of people that keep up with my Facebook. I do have a press pass, and I've been a part of the media for a long time. So I have an app on my phone that is I don't even know what you call it. It's Newsbreak. It's a Newsbreak app for all of the media sources. So I will usually get I get these alerts, and it's basically I'll get the alert like the same time TMZ gets the alert. So I do have people from time to time wondering how I'm posting something before it's even broken on TMZ, like the Kobe Bryant helicopter crash. If you go back and you look at that, I posted about 4 or 5 minutes before TMZ broke the news because it came through on my Newsbreak app that all of us people that are in the media, we have those apps. I don't really do anything much with the media anymore. But I used to be a stringer. I used to do freelance stuff for the OC Register in Orange County. I worked for the Long Beach Press Telegram. I did the news back in Texas. I was what they call an ambulance chaser. So I've been doing news stuff for a long time. So with this whole pandemic that's going on, if you don't know, you can't say the C word. The C word 2.0, you can't say it on YouTube. If you do, they will immediately demonetize your channel and shadow ban you where your video doesn't get out to anyone. So I could just call it like the demon pandemic or the demon plague is what I'm calling it. I don't call it the C word. It's so funny because every one of my live streams, as soon as I get done with it, it's automatically what is the word? It's restricted. So they have a restricted thing. So your video doesn't go out to anyone and it doesn't get put in the recommended for anybody to see it. And literally as soon as I'll end a live stream, my video will already be restricted. And I'm not even saying the C word. and I don't use any profanity hardly. Every now and then, maybe I might drop one. But yeah, I don't say anything, and I try to keep it very PG. I mean, there could be there's not supposed to be any kids in my live stream, but you never know if parents are watching and maybe there's a kid in the background. And, I try to keep it pretty, pretty PG. But all of my videos, they get restricted. And one of them from like a couple of days or like a week ago, it just got completely demonetized. Yeah, I agree, Ambo Life. The censorship is crazy. It is crazy, crazy. But anyway, with everything that's going on, it's a little, we're living in some really crazy times. And I'm worried about this whole thing with, I've been listening to Trump, and he's talking about everybody going back to work by Easter, which is like, what is that? Like 18 days away, something like that. And I am all for that. Like most conservatives, I mean, this is what you have. You have conservatives over here going, it's just the flu. Nothing's going to happen, man. We got more people dying every year from the flu. I'm telling you, this is just a bunch of nonsense. It's just a bunch of stuff made up from the media. You're just blowing this all out of proportion. We should already be back to work. And then on this side, you got the liberals going, oh, you idiots, you're going to get everybody killed. We got to lock it down, and we got to stay indoors, and nobody can go out for the next 5 years. You freaking idiots. Yeah. So that's what's going on right now. And it's playing out a lot on my Facebook page. And I like to fan the flames. I've been trolling for 20 years on the internet. So I enjoy I've been using my Facebook page just to update because I get my media alerts. So when I get my media alerts, I go ahead and throw them up on my Facebook because people aren't going to see all of the stuff that I get alerts on. So if it's like pertinent information and pertinent news, then I throw it up on my Facebook. So there's like a whole like stew going on my Facebook page right now. People fighting back and forth, and I'm fighting with them. But I'm not. I'm going to tell you that I have this. This is going to be information you're going to get from me right now that you're not going to hear in the media. I don't think you could find this anywhere. But I was listening to a conference type. It was a press conference. It was open to the public, but it wasn't published. It wasn't a published press conference. Does that make sense? It was basically just for the press. It was an update just for the press. And a very well known expert in biology or this biochem or whatever, a biologist that's an expert in these types of viruses, basically gave the timeline, which freaked me the hell out. But he says 18 months. He says that we will probably not be back to regular life like we knew it before this demon plague for 18 months. That's his timeline. He thinks the entire world, it'll probably be about 18 months before everybody has a handle on this, and everybody can get out of their house and go back to work, and we don't have to worry about it, or we don't have to practice, the 6 feet, or being apart from each other or wearing masks or any of that stuff. 18 months is a long time. And Rav is the OG trolls. That's right, Ambo Life. Now you know. Old guy on a bike. If you like old people or people with compromised health, don't go back to work. Otherwise, hell, go back to work. Yeah, that's you hear that a lot. Old guy on a bike. The first wave of the Spanish flu in 1918 was not as bad as the second wave. That's true. Old guy on a bike. But the third wave was not as bad as the first or second wave. There was 3 waves of the Spanish flu. But here, so old guy on a bike, I like people that are educated on this stuff. So let's talk about this. So during the Spanish flu, if you guys don't know this, the reason I know this is because I've read a bunch about the Spanish flu. So, and during the Spanish flu, this is fact. You can look it up. If you think I'm BSing you, you can look this up. During the Spanish flu, you had two American cities. You had St. Louis and you had Philadelphia. St. Louis and Philadelphia. So these two cities took two different approaches, and it was left up to the cities to do what they wanted to do. So you had St. Louis and you had Philadelphia. So St. Louis basically quarantined everybody. They just like what we're doing now. Everybody inside. Everybody stay inside and hold in your home and stay in place. Philadelphia, on the other hand, did right the opposite. Philadelphia said, "Oh, it's not going to be that bad. Let's just keep going on about our business." They ended up having a parade in Philadelphia where there was, I don't know, 10,000 people or something like that. There was 1,000 people on the side, they said, watching the parade, and then you had all the people in the parade, and Philadelphia just went on about their business. Philadelphia was decimated by the Spanish flu. St. Louis had very few deaths. Philadelphia was brought to its knees by the Spanish flu. The Spanish flu became so bad in Philadelphia that if you were seen outside without like an N95 or an N99 mask on to cover your face, the police would shoot and kill you on sight. Did you hear that? That's not a joke. That's factor. That is history fact. If you were caught or seen outside in Philadelphia without a mask covering your face in public, the police would walk up within 6 foot of you and shoot and kill you on the spot. Dead. St. Louis, they had a few deaths after, they stayed in, and then after everything was clear, they came out, they were fine. Philadelphia, decimated. So that's something we got to think about. Definitely something we got to think about. Because, this is where we're at. We either stay inside and stay away from everybody and practice this social distancing, or we try to all go back to work, and then everybody gets sick. It overwhelms our medical facilities, and thousands of people die. Oh, here comes a big locomotive. If you guys that don't know, I'm right here by the train tracks, and I was hoping all the trains were by, but I think we actually have a freight train out here trying to change cars or something, which they don't ever do here. But there's a lot of weird stuff going on, a lot of stuff that never goes on. So my friend Brooklyn English Bulldog Eve, she says Trump was done giving the name of hydrochlorine up, and now people are hoarding that, making it hard to get, driving up prices, and other drug companies looking at making it. Yeah, I agree with that. How I know, I've been on it for years and now having trouble getting it. Yeah, the sad part about that, Eve, is you're going to have problems getting everything, which is kind of spooky. A lot of our antibiotics are made in China. That's another big problem. I've been, okay, good. Was blind. You couldn't hear the locomotive. That's awesome. My whole freaking office is shaking. It's literally right outside. I could literally almost kick it. Nomad Unbroken, your mic hides outside the noise. Thanks, buddy. If you didn't notice, Nomad Unbroken, you have a wrench by your name now, buddy. You can spam the room if you'd like to. My buddy Nomad Unbroken has 960 subscribers on his Nomad Unbroken channel. So, and he streams a lot. If you like these live streams, you might go over and check out his channel and subscribe to his. I'm trying to get him to 1,000. Trying to get him to 1,000 subscribers so he can get his watch time up and he can get monetized on YouTube. Because he basically works in bowling alleys throughout the year, and then he has downtime because there's not a lot of bowling going on, I guess, certain times of the year. So I'd like to help him get up to 1,000 subscribers. So if we could get a few people over there, if you're not subscribed to Nomad Unbroken. But anyway, I don't want to preach to anybody about what's going on with everything. Hey, Trav, man, what's up, buddy? Global health pandemic, sold out of supplies here in South Crow, Falls, Wisconsin. Yeah, everybody's sold out. And just for the record, all it takes is a little common sense. I can tell you guys exactly how we can fix this hoarding problem. Van Life with Gina Payne. Awesome Nomad Unbroken. Wish I could subscribe twice. Yeah, old guy in a bike. I hear that. A bunch of people have died in Nigeria because of what Trump said. Yeah. I mean, that's, I'm sure somebody put that in his head and he ran with it. You're very welcome, Nomad Unbroken. But anyway, so I'm going to give you guys exactly how we can fix this hoarding problem. So with this thing, like people buying up all the toilet paper or, whatever they're buying, it's very simple. I don't know why the stores don't come up with this, because it'd be very simple for them to implement this and fix it. I watched a video like yesterday of a lady at I think it was a Costco or maybe it was a Walmart, but she had the store had just got in their new supply of toilet paper, and she bought the entire supply from this one store and had a pickup and a van loading the entire supply. So this lady was out there filming her, calling her names and everything. And the lady that bought all of it, she didn't care because she's probably going to be reselling it. Anyway, let me give you the common sense way of fixing this hoarding problem. So we're going to use these bracelets. We'll use these bracelets. I have my bracelets here. We will use these as toilet paper, as a sample of toilet paper, right? So let's say one of these bracelets are $5.99, right? So you can buy one for $5.99. Or you can buy, we're pretending this is toilet paper though, right? So this is a roll of toilet paper. So right now toilet paper is probably pretty expensive, right? So you can get one roll of toilet paper for $5.99, right? Or in the stores, you can get 2 rolls of toilet paper for what? $11, $5.99 times 2, $11 almost. Well, all they would have to do is say you can get 1 roll of toilet paper for $5.99, or you can get 2 rolls of toilet paper for $59.99, or you could get 3 rolls of toilet paper for $99.99, and that would solve your hoarding problem. People would stop buying, and if they didn't, the stores would get rich off of it. If you're going to buy 3 rolls of toilet paper for $99.99, knock yourself out. Says the Walmart here will only allow 1 package per customer. Yeah. I still like my pricing thing better, because then the stores make even more money. And with all the things the stores are having to deal with right now, good, it's good for them to be making more money. So I make 1 roll of toilet paper $5.99, make 2 rolls of toilet paper $59.99, 3 rolls $99.99, and just do that with everything. Anything that anybody's hoarding, just jack the price up, and the hoarding will stop. Pretty much. But as long as people can buy as many rolls of toilet paper for $5.99, they're going to buy as many as they can afford. Trav Man says, LOL, English Bulldog Eve gives me a thumbs up. And if, like I said, if people have there'll be people out there that have the money to buy toilet paper for 3 rolls for $99.99, and they'll do it. And that's just more money for the store and more money in the economy. If people are dumb enough to buy 3 rolls of toilet paper for $99. Why are we hoarding toilet paper of all things? Cat litter is dirt cheap. Very true, Budget Buckcraft and RV Life. Well, I posted a meme yesterday. If anybody saw my Instagram yesterday, I posted a meme yesterday, and it was like a whole grocery cart full of plungers. And it said, for all of you people that are buying up all the toilet paper, I just bought up all of the plungers. Checkmate, bitches. In Newfoundland, Canada, we have the extra problem of 90% of the goods coming in by ferry. Winter weather slows down delivery. Yep. I have a friend of mine that has a big, beautiful house up in, is it New York? Where is it? Maine. I think it's Maine. I can't remember, but it's out on an island, and they're the same way. They can't get anything to the island unless it's brought by ferry. So when people buy stuff up, it could be a week before it comes back into stock, especially, I mean, during the winter. We didn't even invent toilet paper until 1857. Sheesh. You're right. I just, out of all the stuff people are hoarding, man, it just blows my mind that would be toilet paper. Now, I could see if there had been a run on food, like canned goods and, ramen noodles. Like if I got to the Walmart and there was no ramen noodles, I wouldn't be too surprised about that. But toilet paper of all things, are people that terrified of not having toilet paper? And then the funny thing is I was in a place, like a dollar store type place. All the toilet paper, the whole toilet paper shelf was just gone. There was no toilet paper, but there was plenty of paper towels. The whole paper towel rack was there. Paper towels were there and baby wipes. Oh, Was Blind says paper towels were gone there too. Yeah, I guess there is a run on paper towels as well. Old guy on a bike says stocked up on coffee and bourbon. Hey, that's actually all you need right there in life, isn't it? Old guy on a bike is coffee and bourbon and your firearm. Travman says close the schools here in Wisconsin, close bars, restaurants, and now a lot of businesses are closing. Only the businesses that supply medical supply and army are allowed to work. Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be here in LA too, Travman, but it's not. This entire complex where I'm at, we're like one of the only businesses that closed. All the other businesses are all open. They're doing their thing. The one that irritates me the most is there's a freaking like custom car place. These Mexican guys, without being too unpolitically correct, let's see, how can I put this? These Mexican guys that are just new to the United States, I should say, they buy these sports cars, like let's say like a baseline Camaro. They'll buy like a baseline Camaro and then they bring it over here to this place, and they put a big body kit on it, and then they put tires on it, and they put white lettering around the tires, and they try to make it look like a formula, or like a race car, Formula One car or something. It's the most douchiest looking thing. I mean, these cars are, I mean, it is literally hilarious. And they think they look like Ferraris, I guess. I don't know, because they just think they're the coolest thing. And they look silly is what they look. But that business is open, and it's been open every single day. It was open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every single day. And on Saturday, they had a whole shop full of people. There was a bunch of girls up there. There was everything. So, yeah, crazy. Here in this part of LA where my office is at, it's a garment facility, which is what we did, was make stuff like this hoodie right here. And even the t-shirt I'm wearing. And they have no concept of anything that's going on. They're just business as usual, just going about their business. Like I got out, I think it was Friday or Saturday. I think Friday I got out, and it's like a holiday weekend. There was more people out than there regularly is. The park over across from me, Ambo Life knows this because Ambo Life was here like 2 weeks ago. This park right across from me, I counted 45 cars there like Friday, I guess. 45. There was 2 groups of guys playing dominoes or something. There was one group of old guys that looked like they were all in their 60s, and there was probably about 10 or 15 of them. Then there was another group of younger guys that were hanging out, and they looked like they were probably, 20s, early 30s. 2 huge groups of guys, probably 25 guys or more in 2 different groups, all right up in there together playing dominoes or whatever they were doing in the park. Insane. Brooklyn English Bulldog Eve says that's how the HB Pier is and the beach is. Yep, I saw pictures of HB. HB is Huntington Beach. I used to live in Huntington Beach, for those of you that don't know, which is Orange County. There has been in Houston on groceries. Oh, so Totally Relaxed says, I guess there has been a run on groceries in Houston. Hey, Houston, what's up? Texas. I'm originally from Texas. I lived in Dallas for 18 years before I moved to California, but I grew up in Lubbock. Chevy Life, what's up, Trav? My buddy, my childhood friend Trav is in the room. What's up, buddy? We got 11 people in the room. We got 11 thumbs up. That's pretty awesome. But anyway, yeah. So I am a little bit nervous about Trump talking about taking us all back to work by Easter. I mean, you can say whatever you want to say. I think that's pretty crazy. I think nobody seems to understand, or I could be wrong. I definitely could be wrong, but I actually think we're right on the beginning of this. So if we're looking at this pandemic as a baseball game, right now, the first batter for the first inning he's just knocking the dirt off of his cleats, and he's just walking up to home plate to be the first batter. If I had to bet, I think that's where we're at in this pandemic. Almost everybody I talk to think we're in like the fifth or sixth inning, that it's almost over, and a couple more weeks and everything's going to be back to normal. We're all going to be going back to work, and it's going to fade away. And I hate to break it to you, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think this is going to take a long time to weed it out of the population. And it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, right now the deal is the numbers aren't there. Now, even though there's a lot of people that's catching this and it's up there, but until the death rate gets up to, 60, 70, 80,000, people aren't even paying attention to it. I mean, they're just saying, oh, it's the flu. It's just the flu. And if you're not old, you don't have to worry about it. Well, the first child in LA County, the first child in the United States in LA County died today. And there's a lot of children that died in Italy that had no underlying health conditions. And then Joe Rogan was talking about Mike Ho, I believe his name's Mike Ho, and he's a big strapping dude. He's like 6'3", and he's in shape, and he's always working out, and he's a very, very healthy, strict diet, health freak. Well, he got the coronavirus, and he ended up being on a ventilator with pneumonia, and he will tell you he thought he was going to die. Now, he survived, but he thought he was going to die. He said he literally thought he was going to die. It got that bad. He didn't think he was going to make it. And he's a big, healthy guy. And I can tell you for a fact that little tidbit of information right there freaked Joe Rogan completely out. It made him completely change his perspective on the whole thing. And he's talked to medical experts. But Joe Rogan, knowing somebody that had caught the virus, that was younger than he is, that's in better shape than Joe Rogan is, and he thought he was going to die, he did pull through. But he said it was not pretty. And the other thing is, a lot of people that don't understand is if you looked at this in Italy and if you looked at it in China, once you get this virus, there's 3 stages of it. So some people get it and it never becomes anything critical for them. They could just basically keep on going and do whatever they do. Kind of like happened with Tom Hanks and his wife, Rita Wilson. They got it. They never really got too sick from it. So you have those people, and those people are the ones that give everybody else a false sense of security, going, well, I can live with that. If it just makes me a little fatigued or whatever, that's not a big deal. Well, you have that, and then you have the people that have that, and then it turns into chronic pneumonia. Once it turns into chronic pneumonia, your chances of living or dying are pretty iffy. And that's what happens. And that's what a lot of people don't seem to understand. And once you get the chronic pneumonia and you have to be vented and put on a ventilator, what I've heard, what they said in Italy and in China, that if you end up being one of the percentage, which is 1% or whatever it is, but if you end up being one of those persons that have to be put on a ventilator because you're chronic pneumonia, it damages your lungs. You're going to be like a smoker. You're going to be like a lifelong smoker when you finally do come out of it. They said your lungs are permanently damaged. They'll never be the same again. So to me, that's scary. And you have all these people out there just running around like, oh, if I get it, I get it. You know, I'll just have to fight it off. I'll be just fine. I'll just fight it off. Yeah. So, be a lot of people that get it and don't pull through. Hey, Freedom Dove, what is going on, girl? Good to see you. Old guy in a bike, the pneumonia is what will get you. Yes. And that's what I want to emphasize, that all of you people that are in the room. So if you don't understand this with the chronic pneumonia, this is what happened in China, and this is what has happened in Italy. Because they are so low on respirators and ventilators to vent people that are having trouble breathing because they don't have any, they're out. They basically look at your lungs and see how much fluid you have on your lungs. If you have like 30% fluid on your lungs, they will try to get you a ventilator. If your lungs have gotten to 50% capacity and fluid, they won't get you a ventilator. And that just means you're going to die. There's not anything they can do for you. They're not going to try to do anything for you. It's that make you comfortable until you die. That's scary. To me, anyway. Budget Bushcraft RV Life says Jesus kids are licking toilets and doorknobs to get Instagram attention. Tide Pods weren't enough. I totally agree with that. It's actually TikTok. They're doing it for TikTok, Budget Bushcraft. But yeah, I've actually seen those videos as well. And one of those kids that did that ended up in the hospital getting coronavirus tested, and it ended up being negative, I believe, but he did end up in the hospital getting tested. Lee Nortz, what's up, Leah? Good to see you, Leah Nortz. And Ambo Life, it's Trump. Hey, Leah, good to see you. Freedom Dove. Let's see, Chevy Life. Trav says there are two strains. L and S is the one that affects 70% of infections, and it's the one that's the deadly one. S strain has mild cases, but only 30% get that one. Yes, Chevy Life, Trav, that is very true to an extent. That's what China has said, but we don't know that L and S strain is actually, we don't know that's actually a fact. But I have heard that from a long time ago, that's what China believes, that there's actually completely two different strains. And they believe that the two strains, one is mild and one is not mild. But I can tell you, Chevy Life, that has not been, it's not been verified. So there's some health professionals in China that says there's a S and L strain of the virus. And some people say it's just, it could be your blood count. It could be your blood type. Some people do better with a certain blood type, and some people with a certain blood, I think it was O, they get really sick, or maybe it was O that they do really well, and A blood type, you do really bad. So there's a lot of speculation on of everything. Amber Life says, hey, Rab, April here. I've been reading about the long-term lung damage too, and it's scary stuff. I was born extremely premature and have had lung scarring because of that, and it's no joke. Yes, I totally agree with that. And that's what irritates me about people that are taking this not seriously. I mean, it could kill me. I mean, it definitely could kill me, but I worry about my stepmom who has emphysema, and she was a longtime smoker. Now, granted, I'm not super close to my stepmom, but I would prefer her not to get this, because if she gets it, she's probably in the ground. She's probably not gonna make it. She's on a, what the hell do they call those things? She's on a PAPS, or the machine that breathes for you already. She has to walk around with an oxygen bottle with oxygen in her nose already, because she's a longtime smoker. If somebody like her gets this, she's done for. And I see her posting on my Facebook all the time, and I don't even know if she understands. I see her posting memes about, if you get it, boil some water and put some lemon in it and some garlic, these home remedies. I don't think she understands. If she gets it, she's probably a goner. Amber says April will be dead if she gets it. Yeah, that's my fear, April. And Devin, that's my fear, is people that I know are going to get this, including myself, and they're going to die. But the other thing about it is there's you have this percentage of the population out there that is not going to take this seriously until people that they know or people that they love start getting sick and dying. And then they'll go, "Oh, I you're right. This is real. We do have to be careful." Um I know so many people, everybody's like, "Oh, it's just old people or it's just autoimmune deficient people." And that's a lot of people. A lot of people walk around, they look perfectly healthy, but they are not near as healthy as what they look. A lot of people are on medications, you know, and just like I said, Michael Ho got sick with it and he almost died. And he's a guy that runs triathlons. Uh, Freedom Dove, he knows where it started. Trump thinks the virus started in Kenya. No, it started in China. They know that. China's actually they are pretty certain that they've traced all the way back to what they call patient zero, and patient zero he contracted the virus and had the virus on November 17th of 2019. So that's literally right at 5 months ago. So it's taken China 5 months to get to where they're at now. And what I'm predicting, and I've been right on everything. Anybody that's on my Facebook page can go scroll through my Facebook. I haven't posted anything I haven't been right on. So this is what I think is coming with China. China's going back to work. If you don't know this, this is what's going on in China. China's going back to work. People are going back to everyday life. They're coming out of quarantine. They're shutting all the hospitals down, and people are going back to their everyday life. If you go back and you research the Spanish flu, it went in waves, as we were talking about like 20 or 30 minutes ago. The Spanish flu went in waves. There was a first wave of Spanish flu, a second wave of Spanish flu, and then a third wave of Spanish flu. I think that's going to be exactly what happens in China. Probably what happens to us here as well. I think you're going to have China is just coming out of their first wave. And their leading physician in China, one of their leading physicians says she sees it coming back. She's already seeing people testing positive again, and it's coming back. And I think China is going to come back hot again. And I think they're going to have their second wave. And I think if they don't play their cards right, they're going to end up having a third wave like we did with the Spanish flu. The Wuhan province. Yes, Nomad and Broken in the Wuhan province. That is where it originated. Chevy Life says Freedom Dove. Yeah, she was exposed. Oh, yes. So my buddy Trav, which is Chevy Life in the room here. Let's see. I'm scrolling back up. Chevy Life. They say also women seem to do better with it. Yes, they do. You're exactly right, Chevy. My buddy Travis, man. I got to give props to my buddy Travis because he was never. I'm not crapping on you, Travis, but you were never one of my most intellectual friends. But I very much give him props on stuff that interests him, on how much research and how much reading and how much looking into stuff he does. Because he throws out facts that I read this stuff a lot. I've probably read 500 articles since January, since this whole thing started breaking loose in China. I've been keeping up with it. But yeah, anyway, so Chevy Life says that also women seem to do better with it. Men are twice as likely to have serious problems. Something about women have 2 times, the chromosomes. That's exactly right. So I saw this really that information came out of China, but it was really in Italy is where it really took hold. Because I saw 2 ICU units in Italy, and both ICU units were packed with patients, and every single one of them were men. Not saying women can't die from this, because a woman just did die, and women do die, but women fare a lot better with this than men do from what has happened in China and Italy. It's a lot harder on men. So for you ladies there, that's a little good news for you. But yeah, props to my buddy Trav, because he's really educated himself on this. And anyway, Trav's ex-wife is a nurse, I believe, in San Antonio, and there's a good possibility that she has actually been exposed to the coronavirus already. And one other thing I will throw out there, oh, I just said the C word, is the C word, and they call it the other 19. And people think it's one and the same thing. And I originally thought that as well. And I will still refer to it as the C word or the 19 as being the same thing. It is not. So let me explain that really quick. So the C word, what they call the beer, the Mexican beer virus, that is the initial stages of it. So it's a lot like AIDS. Remember AIDS, HIV and AIDS? So initially, if you got HIV, you were HIV positive, but until you became, your immune system and your white blood cells came down, you didn't go into having full blown AIDS. But once your white blood count cells dropped and everything, and then you went from HIV into having full blown AIDS. So that's the way the Mexican beer virus works. It's actually the Mexican beer virus, but as it matures and becomes pneumonia, then it becomes full blown the 19 version. Let's see, where are we at in the room here? Jim Humble and MMS, Chevy Life, what do you think about the hydrocoxine? I don't know, Travis. I think a lot of people have taken that, and now you're hearing people being actually dying from taking it. Here's what I think. I don't think there's going to be any vaccine for this. And the reason I say this is, so let's go back to the H1, the swine flu, the H1N1 swine flu that happened in, was it 5 years ago? I believe it was 5 years ago. Yeah, it was 5 years ago. So let's go back to that in 2015, right? So when that swine flu was going on and it was killing people by a lot, it was killing a lot of people, and a lot of people were sick with it every single day. Most of you probably weren't paying attention to that. I was, when it was happening. So every single day they were saying that they were going to have a vaccine, that this company or this pharmaceutical company or this college, or they were having a vaccine, that we're going to have a vaccine any day. Any day there was going to be a vaccine to cure the H1N1 flu, swine flu. It's 5 years later, 5 years later since the H1N1 outbreak. There's still no vaccine today. If there was another outbreak of the swine flu, the H1N1 swine flu, there is no vaccine today. So if you look at a vaccine for this latest pandemic, I think you're looking at, if they ever have one, I think it's probably going to be a year, 2 years, 3 years away. And I really I don't have any, I like to be optimistic, but I don't have any hope that they're really going to have one. Because how long did it take them to invent a flu shot for the flu? Think about that. Okay. So I know a lot of people that they get the flu shot and then they get the flu. So it's not 100% even with the flu. And the flu is a lot less. It's a lot, what is the word? It's not near as potent as what this new demon plague is. Nomad and Broken says, someone is saying they felt the scratchy throat and gargled hot water before it reached the lungs. Yeah, that's all. I've heard that too, Nomad and Broken. That's all misinformation. If you've got it in your throat, it's already going to be in your lungs. But yeah, I actually heard that one too. That's all of that stuff that's going around on Facebook and social media. Freedom Dove says, well, Obama did screw up a lot. Let's see. Yeah, this is the problem with this whole thing, guys. I mean, it shouldn't be political. I mean, people are still arguing about the political aspect of it. I mean, everybody should just be, in my opinion, we should all just be as one, as Americans, instead of drawing lines in the sand going, okay, I'm a conservative. This this thing is just blown out of proportion. We just need to get back to work. Or I'm a Democrat. We should never go back to work, and we should stay quarantined, and it's all Trump's fault. I don't know. I just don't get that. I know during 9/11, you know, George Bush Jr. was the president during 9/11, and I could not stand George Bush Jr. The funny thing is I voted for him when he was the governor of Texas because I lived in Texas. I hated him as a president because I don't like neocons. I can't stand neocons. I don't like Democrats. I don't like neocons either. I'm an independent. Both of them drive me nuts. Like the old neocon Republicans, like George Bush Sr. and George Bush Jr. and Dick Cheney. Yeah, don't like them. And I'm from Texas. Chevy Life, there will be more virus come out of China too. Yeah, that's a possibility, Trav. Okay, guys, we're at 55 minutes. We got 11 people in the room. We got 11 thumbs up. I appreciate that, guys. We're going to go right at about an hour. Gig Boss. Hey, buddy, what is up, Gig Boss? If you don't know, Trav, this might be information you like. Gig Boss right there is a promoter. I don't know if you're doing that much anymore, but I met Gig Boss. He was promoter at the House of Blues in Orange County down in Anaheim. And I went to one of his events where there was a bunch of rock bands, and it was actually a really good time. Gig Boss says, Rav, what's the confirmed lifespan of the virus as of today? Okay, so here's the scary thing. So this comes directly from the CDC. So the CDC pulled a bunch of people, or they pulled a lot of people off one of those contaminated contaminated cruise ships. I don't remember which one it was. And once they had everybody off the ship, they left the ship as it was. They did not go in and disinfect and clean the ship. They left it as it was. It took 17 days for the people that were in rooms that were positive with the demon plague. After 17 days, the demon plague was still active and in the rooms where those people were. So there's so much stuff out here. There's people they're talking about wash your hands. It can only live on a surface for 3 days. It'll only be in the air for 3 hours. I honestly don't think any of them know. But what we do know for a fact is one of those cruise ships that once the people that were positive with the demon plague, once they left the cruise ship, the demon plague lived in those rooms for 17 days. That's a scary, scary thing. And that's directly from the CDC, from the study they did. If that's the case, we're all going to get it. And that's why you keep hearing these numbers where they keep saying, I heard the UK say that 60% of their population. And then I heard another number where they were saying 80% of the American population. I mean, if that's true, and if this virus, if it's living for almost 20 days in a room that there's nobody in there, we're all going to get this. We're all going to get it. All of this quarantining ain't going to help us unless we just quarantine for, I don't know how it's going to help us. Because think about that. You take one person. So let's say say I'm infected and I'm really infected, but I don't know it because I'm not showing signs. Because sometimes here's another thing in China, it took a lady 28 days before she ever exhibited signs. She was positive. She had already tested positive, but she never got sick for 28 days until she finally started exhibiting signs and got really sick. So that's crazy. So just say if it's me, I have it. I don't know I have it, but I go to Walmart. I walk all the way through the Walmart. I get on a city bus. I get off a city bus. I get on a train. I go on the train. Every place I just went is completely contaminated. Nomad Unbroken, Trump used to be a Democrat. He was a very long time Democrat. That's what is so funny to me when Democrats, they hate Trump so much. Trump is not a Republican. If you think Trump is a full-on Republican, you have no idea what you're talking about. Because Trump is not a Republican. Not even close to it. In 1999, Donald Trump was going to he was going to run on the Reform Party, and he backed out at the last minute because one of his advisors told him to look what had happened to starts with the N. Help me out. Nader, Ralph Nader. So Ralph Nader had before ran on the Reform Party, and he got decimated because you've either got to run on the Democratic ticket or you got to run on the Republican ticket. That's all there is to it. That's just like Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders ain't a Democrat. He's a socialist, but he's running on the Democrat ticket because there's not a socialist party. So that's what I tell my Democrat friends when they're all losing their mind over Trump is, hey, Trump's basically a Democrat. He was a Democrat long before he was a Republican. And if he had stayed a Democrat back in the 80s and the early 90s, Trump was the golden boy. He was the Elon Musk of the 80s and 90s. He was on everything. He was on Oprah with Oprah trying to talk him into running for president. He was on David Letterman. He was on every show back in the 80s, all the time, in the 90s, the early 90s, and them all trying, hey, Donald, are you thinking about running for president? Why don't you run for president? He'd always say, no, I don't think so. I don't think that's something I want to do. But they were, oh, come on, we could use you in there. And then he switches parties and gets in there and they lose their mind. The funny thing is, it's like I told my friend the other day, I said, if Trump had never changed parties, you'd be wearing a big blue MAGA hat because he was a longtime Democrat. Freedom Dove says citrus kills viruses. Buy a diffuser and some orange and other citrus essential oils. Run it all day and night if you're sick so that it can clean the air. Yes, even a humidifier, like for babies. I would think, and put some of that citrus oil in there maybe because what do they call it? Is it a dehumidifier or the humidifier that's got the little steam that comes out of it? I know back in the day, everybody used to use those in babies' rooms. If a baby got sick and had congestion, I don't know what it does. Freedom Dove says sanitize all hard surfaces regularly. Old guy on a bike. All the quarantine does is buy the medical services time. Yes, and that's a very, very important point because if we can keep the medical services from getting overwhelmed, like what's going on in Italy, then we can manage this thing. But if so many people get sick that the medical staff starts getting sick, which is what's happening in Italy. Like I was listening to this. So 4 Italian doctors died in like the span of like 4 days that they were treating patients like a week before. And then like a week later, they were dead because all of the people that are the medical people are all catching the virus and they're still working while they have the virus. It's crazy. And that's the situation we don't want to be in here. That's why we're all staying indoors. It's mostly for our medical staff. Leah Nortz, listen to Country Joe McDonald's Vietnam song. Freedom Dove says, I use 70% rubbing alcohol or just cheap vodka for sanitizing the manure out of all frequently touched surfaces. Yes. I actually use Lysol. I have my Lysol right here somewhere. I have a whole big, huge can of Lysol. I don't know what I did with it. It was right here. So I use Lysol because back in the olden days, my can doesn't say this now, but like a few years ago, which is one of those conspiracy theory things, is Lysol had on the back of it that it killed the human Mexican beer virus. It had those words on there. Now I've looked at my new can of Lysol. It doesn't say that on there, but back in the day, so, Lysol is a good germ disinfectant. So if you're going to hoard something, maybe not toilet paper, maybe Lysol. Having a can of Lysol around is not a bad idea right now. Freedom Dove says a vaporizer would work. Yes. Yeah. That's what it was called. A vaporizer that we used to put in for babies' rooms. I think they would have like a Vicks stuff that you put in there or something that was basically open your congestion up and stuff. So if you put maybe what Freedom Dove was recommended with a citrus, probably be really good for you. It's warm steam from vaporizer. Yes. Yes. Freedom Dove. And you guys are going to think like I'm peddling snake poison here, but you know, I actually burn sage. I burn white sage, and I also burn Palo Alto, the wood, and it really dries out the inside of my rig because my rig, even though I don't have like, I'm not running a propane stove in there. I cook with propane in there sometimes with a, you know, with the fantastic fan lid cracked. But it does seem to build up moisture in there because my rig doesn't have any windows in the back of it. There's just windows up in the cab. So sometimes I feel like there's moisture in the air. And if I burn the Palo Alto, it seems to dry everything out. It's just a smoke. But man, once it whiffs around, it just seems so much, it seems like it sanitizes the air. So I burn it like at least once a week. So for you guys that are van lifers, it's a wood. Everybody knows about burning sage. The sage does not do that much. It does not do that much. But the burning the Palo Alto, am I saying it right? Let me see. I'm not all big into all of this kind of stuff, but I heard this from somebody talking about they were living in like Bulgaria or Bolivia or somewhere like that, and they were living in like a tent, and there was like malaria from mosquitoes, and they would burn the Palo Alto, and it would take all the moisture out of the air. So I looked it up on, and I was like, well, the stuff is really cheap, so I ended up buying it. Let me see. I ended up buying it for myself, and yeah, Palo Santo. It's PALOSANTO, Palo Santo. So that's what I actually burn. I have sage as well, but the Palo Santo does so much better, it seems, for in my rig. And like I said, I literally burn it. The Palo Santo, I burn it every other night or at least once a week. I don't know if you can see this. No. Nope. Anyway, it's just a wood. You can look it up on eBay. eBay has it. And you can get like a little tiny cord of it for like $5.99. And I mean, I don't know, that it could be a placebo effect. It may not work at all. Maybe a placebo effect. I just know when I burn it, it seems to do a lot. My rig seems to be a lot healthier. Because if you're living in a vehicle, this is one thing that people don't tell you a lot of times. If you're living in a vehicle and you're in that vehicle and it's kind of stuffy and you're not airing it out on a regular basis, if you're not out in the great open wonders and you've got the vehicle all closed up all the time, it gets, I don't know if it's a funk in the air. It just, to me, the air just does not seem, I don't know how to explain it, but when I burn the Palo Santo, it seems to cleanse and cleanse the air. And I will tell you, my dog that we talked about on my last stream, he was having a lot of problems. He has a lot of problems with arthritis, and he literally couldn't even hardly move. He was in so much pain, and I burned and what they called oh gosh, so the Palo Santo. Well, they call smudge. I smudged my dog with a Palo Santo, the smoke, meaning I just kind of wafted on him, or whatever you call it. And with the very next day, he was completely different. He was completely different. He was doing so much better. So I ended up doing the Palo Santo on him for like a couple of 2 or 3 nights in a row. And now he's walking around again and he's doing so much better. And so this happens to him every time it rains. So the last time one of the last times it happened, I was in Arizona for van build, I think, and we had the rains there, and he couldn't walk. I mean, even if you go to pick him up, and he just screams because he's in so much pain. Freedom Doves I got Polly hooked on Palo Santo. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Freedom Doves is Palo Santo. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't Paul that got me hooked on it. I think I saw Sage in his truck. Online store called Shaman's Market. Gotcha. Thank you, Freedom Dove. So that's some good information from Freedom Dove. We're a little bit over an hour, guys. I don't have anything else to do. I mean, we can wrap this up now, or we can keep it going. If people are bored, we can wrap it up. Detox D, will life ever be the same? Hey, Detox D, good to see you. I haven't seen you in the room. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's going to get back to the same. I just don't know when. And I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. I hope I'm wrong. I don't like being wrong because my ego, but I really hope I'm wrong on this one. But I always go with my gut, and my gut instinct on this says we're going to be in this for a while. Christina Harper, what's up, Christina Harper? Where's the Nomad News Report? You know what? I've got to get on that. It's just I've gotten addicted to this freaking live stream, and I hate freaking editing videos. I never realized how much I despise editing videos and putting videos together until I started doing this live stream. This live streaming has kind of ruined me. Freedom Does says I've had to restart the video twice now. Dang it. Is people having a hard time with my stream? It seems to be running great on my end. The Nomad and Broken says life will be the same, but we will get over this. Yeah, we'll get over it. Old Guy on a Bike says it's been a good stream. Got video to render. Glad I came over. Hey, Old Guy on a Bike. I'm gonna have to go back and check out your channel. I think I've seen it once before, but I got to get back out and check it again. Detox D, yes. Leah Nortz, Detox, listen to Country Joe's McDonald's Vietnam song. I emailed him and asked him to revise the song from the current time. My friend Trav from Chevy Life says stuff will continue as usual by Easter, but this virus will still be going and hospitals will be highly stressed. Chevy Life says the stream does buffer quite a bit. Oh, does it really? Well, that's not good. Christina Harper says, LOL, well, please, I really want to hear the news. The stream is fine on my end. Okay. All right. I got to get some videos edited for you guys for Nomad News. Yeah, I'm showing a good, strong repeat signal here. Usually it'll show me if it's buffering, but I haven't seen it do that once. But so that could be on your end, guys. If it's buffering, that could be your signal. It could be mine, though. I'm not going to say it's not mine because it could be mine. We got 12 people in the room and 14 thumbs up. Dove says it's on and off for me. Lee Nort says doesn't buffer here. Detox D, I live in Washington. Some inmates escape from jail scared of the virus. You know, that's another crazy thing. Detox D, it's a good point. They let out 1,700 inmates here in the LA County jail. They just let them out. One person I read the comment that said, wouldn't they be safer in jail, or is it that being proactive? Wouldn't they be safe in there? But they let them out of jail. Supposedly it was all people that were not violent offenders, but who knows? JBK, what's up? What's up, JBK? JBK says it was buffering from my phone, but I switched to desktop and it's fine. Okay, good to know, JBK. Trav man, let's see where we're at November 2020. Yes, that's exactly where I've said November of 2020. Good call, Trav man. I actually want to see where we're at this time next month. Today's what, the 24th? So I want to see, I think next month at this time will give us a real good sense of how serious this is going to be. I think right now we're kind of just still up in the air about it. But I think by this time next month, we'll know exactly, we'll have a really good handle on how bad this is going to be. Chevy Life says, my internet is whack. Yeah, I've been to your place, Chevy Life. I thought you guys got a better internet out there. Didn't you get internet while I was there? If I'm not mistaken, I think you did. Oh, So my friend Eve, Brooklyn English Bulldog, says it's buffering for her too. So she's right here in Huntington Beach. So that's got to be that's probably on my end then. Hold on just a second. Let me check my router. No, I'm showing full bars. It doesn't look like anything is up on my end. And then the tower is right outside my window. That's the only reason. What I used to do this live stream is just my jetpack. It's not a real router. I said my router, but it's actually not a router. It's just a jetpack. I have the unlimited jetpack, unlimited thing from Verizon. And that's what I use this. It's what I use in my truck. It's what I use in my office. It's great. I don't think you can get it anymore though. Let's see. Green Mob. What is Green Mobster? Oh, Green Mobster. Cuomo in New York is talking about doing the same thing from Rikers Island. Yep. Heard that as well. Weinstein conveniently has the virus, yep, he sure does. That's kind of crazy, right? They said out of 2 inmates in New York, how do you have 2 inmates in New York that catch that demon plague and one of them be Weinstein? So I posted on my Facebook the other day when I heard that news for the conspiracy theories. There you go, theorist. Oh, you know what, Trav, man, you're exactly right. And I completely let that slip my mind. The reason we're buffering, guys, is because it's high internet traffic due to everybody being on lockdown. That's exactly right. That's usually one reason I do these. I wanted to do these so much later, but I guess so many people have a hard time, tuning in later. But I game on this jetpack. I game on it at night after about 8 or 9 o'clock because everybody goes to bed and I can actually game, which means I can play Warface on a jetpack, which they tell you can't do. It's impossible. I do it almost every night. I played for 2 or 3 hours last night because once everybody goes to bed and everybody's off the towers, I mean, I played till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I was up like at 3 this morning playing, and it's just as fast as you can be. But if I try to play now with everybody on the towers, it's all glitchy. It moves. It doesn't move. It doesn't. Does that make sense? It's like you're here and then all of a sudden you're in another room and it's all glitchy. It buffers too much. Nomad Unbroken says there's no buffer there. Well, that's good to know, Nomad Unbroken. Chevy Live says, I think it's your end, man. It did the same thing the other night every once in a while till buffer. Sometimes it flickers and comes back. Yeah, now the last stream I did, it buffered on my end because I see it spin here. But I haven't seen that happen tonight. But definitely it could be happening. And I'm sure that I'm actually probably pretty positive that there's so many people on the internet right now because everybody's at home. So that's what the deal is. It's the signal is just the tower's overcrowded. For all of us that are van dwellers that go to RTR or we went to Schoolypalooza or especially Van Build, you know exactly how that works because at Van Build, nobody had any internet. There was a tower right up on the mountain in front of us or behind us, but nobody had any internet because too many people were trying to get on it. Green Mobster says, Rav, I'm Randy P from Facebook. Oh, hey, Randy P. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Randy P. Randy Prim? Nah. For those of you who don't know, Randy Prim, my buddy Randy Prim, was the very first full-time nomad on YouTube. Changed my mind. He started his YouTube channel. He was living in a C-Class RV in 2008 on YouTube before Google owned YouTube, before you could get paid from YouTube. Trav, man, let's see. Chevy Life says, me too, Brooklyn, lag. Okay. Travman says, I guess all the PC gamers got a notice if the CDC can use their computing power for simulations on a cure for the pandemic. Yeah, well, like they have all the powerful PCs, that and all the miners that are mining cryptocurrency, like for Bitcoin. Christina Harper says, have to watch Contagion. It's scary. Just what we're going. I want to watch that too. It's not on Netflix though. I looked for it last night. There is I guess there's a series on Netflix called Pandemic or something like that. I can't really get into it. I've tried to watch a couple of the episodes, not my thing, but I do want to watch Pandemic. And then the other one is with Dustin Hoffman and Cuba Gooding Jr., who I've actually worked with, and it is on Netflix, but I can't remember what the name of that one is. But it's a movie on Netflix. But I want to watch that one. Christina Harper, I want to watch that one as well. The one you just said. I've been seeing a lot of people that's been watching it. Contagion, yeah. I want to see that. I haven't seen it. I do want to see Contagion. Ohioan just jumped in. Hello all. Hey Ohioan, welcome buddy. I would take it you're in Ohio. Chevy Life says, hey Rav, do you know anything about the dark web? Yeah, I know a little bit, Trav. It's a place you don't want to go, really. You got to get some different software. A different browser. You have to have a different browser. I've been on the dark web for a long time, and it's I don't know. It's mostly seeing a bunch of stuff you probably don't want to see. I mean, I've seen they have everything out there on the dark web. I mean, you see people that are murdered. I mean, you see everything. There's everything out there. But it's more of a pain in the butt than it's worth usually. Green Mobster, I run a full ASUS mesh network in my house. I could power the entire White House and not lose signal. Man, nice. I wish I had your setup, buddy. You have an ASUS mesh network in my house. MESH. I don't even know what that is. I usually keep up with technology pretty well, but I don't even know what that is. So basically you have a router and then you have repeaters set up throughout your house, or you're running a hardline network from your router to every single thing in your house. It says not lose signal, so that's wireless. That's what I do want to do is I want to get one of those like the Wii Boost, that boosts your signal or something like that. I do want to get one of those at some point. Ohio, nope, not in Ohio, full-time Southern Tennessee, getting by. Okay, well, how's the weather out there in Southern Tennessee this time of year? Should be pretty nice by now, right? Like Southern Tennessee, like Memphis, Tennessee, or more central Nashville, Tennessee? I know Nashville just got devastated by some tornadoes like maybe a month ago or so, but there's so much other stuff going on in the news, you didn't even hardly hear about it. It killed several people, 20 people. Outbreak is awesome from 1995, Green Mobster said. Now, that's the one with Dustin Hoffman and Cuba Gooding Jr., right? That's the one that's on Netflix is Outbreak. I think that where it's the small town and the outbreak is in the town, and spoiler alert, guys. And then if they don't get the outbreak, if Dustin Hoffman and Cuba, they don't get the outbreak contained, they're going to just kill everybody in the town. Yes, the Tor browser, Chevy Life. Yep, that's exactly right. All the directions are out there. If you want to get on the dark web, all the directions are out there, but it's not what it used to be. I mean, basically you have 4chan and 8chan got shut down, but I mean, most of the people I think that are out there really trying to get on the dark web these days are mostly pedophiles trying to find child porn. And you stumble onto that too. And then you're freaking out because it gets downloaded to your computer. So that's why I don't play on the dark web too much anymore. So Nomad Unbroken says, I'd like to find this Randy Prim. So look up Nomad Unbroken, look up Randy Prim on YouTube, or look up Road Bandit. Search for Road Bandit or Randy Prim, and you'll be able to find some of his old videos from his Nomad days. He's got like a channel. It used to be called Road Bandit, but he changed it back in his name, Randy Prim. But his RV stuff will be under Road Bandit. Christina Harper says, what's the dark web? I've never heard of this. Oh, somebody that doesn't know what the dark web is. Green Mobster router and 3 separate routers all running jointly. Yeah, that's a way to do it, buddy. If I'm not in a house. I mean, I'm in my office, but I don't, if I had a house, I'd have something like that as well. So you have all your routers. They're just hardwired together throughout the house. So you have a great signal in every part of the house on the wireless end. 1 home-based router and 3 separate at different points. Yep. Okay. Gotcha, Green Mobster. Yep. Mobster. Yep. Gotcha, buddy. I understand. So back to Christina Harper. The dark web is, see, how do we explain the dark web? So you know what the regular World Wide Web is, Christina Harper. Does anybody else not know what the dark web is? So anyway, you have the regular World Wide Web. So it's like a level. So the World Wide Web is like right here. And that's what everybody's on. Everybody's on the dark web. And then on the regular web, everybody's on the internet. That's what we're on right now, is the internet. And then under here, if you know how to dig, if you have the right browser and you have a Tor browser, you know how to dig under, you can actually find actual sites and stuff that are hidden on this, and they call it the dark web, because there's a lot of illegal stuff out there. And you can find sites that are dedicated to, let's see. I don't want to get demonetized by YouTube, but I'll give you a description of something. So there's a lot of child porn on the dark web. I don't know where it's at because I don't ever search for that, but you do stumble onto it from time to time. But there's a lot of pedophiles that'll be on the dark web looking for child porn. But you'll also find stuff like there's the site that it's people that are fascinated with murder. So you will find you'll get into a site and it'll be nothing but naked murdered females, the crime scene photos. And it'll just be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. You could sit there for hours and hours and hours. How they got all these crime scene photos of these women, I have no idea. But yeah, so there's stuff out there that's the kind of stuff you can find on the dark web. And then there's lots of information. If you want to learn how to be a hacker, or you want to learn how to hack into computers and you want to do stuff like that, you can find stuff like that on the dark web. But they call it the dark web for that reason. Green Mobster says, Rav, I believe the deep web is even worse. Yes, but the deep web is actually all professional hackers. And there's not that much to the deep web. And most people don't know how to get to the deep web. Never mind the dark, worse than the deep. Yeah. I don't know. Well, the deep web is just mostly hacker information. So you can learn how to hack and you can learn how to get into stuff. The dark web, they call it the dark web because that's where all the dark stuff from humanity ends up, is on the dark web. Chevy Life, no URLs, no search history. Green Mobster says the dark web, you can buy drugs, child porn, murder viewing, etc. Yep, exactly what Green Mobster said. You know, they've cut down on the drug sales. So basically used to, probably 5 years ago. No, it's probably been longer than that now. Like 2010, 2011, 2012. God, where's the time gone? That just seems like a couple years ago to me. But back in those days, you could get on the dark web and you could go into these different sites and it would just be like a catalog. It would be like it kind of looked like a cheap Amazon. Or a cheap eBay. And it would just be drugs. You could get ecstasy or heroin or whatever, and you could just order it. and people would send it to you. I mean, you would use secret information to exchange it, but you could order like ecstasy right off the dark web. They pretty much cracked down on that though now. I do believe you don't really see that. You don't see the drug stuff too much anymore. So Travman says, "See, I thought dark meant like they went dark. I didn't realize it means dark, like in sick, evil stuff." It could be either. You know, there's no real definition of why they call it the dark web. Basically, it's called the dark web because there's a lot of dark stuff there. You know what I mean? I mean, if you're a masochist or you're something, you know, there's a lot of that kind of stuff in there that you'll find. Nomad Unbroken says, "Dang, he did better editing than some of the 100,000 subscriber channels of the day." Yes, Nomad Unbroken. You're talking about my buddy Randy Prim with Road Bandit. Yes. But I'll give you a little tidbit of information. Randy is a professional broadcaster. The last time I saw a picture of him on Facebook, he was holding a big broadcast camera at one of the NFL football games while the reporter was interviewing one of the professional football players. So that's kind of cheating a little bit. He actually is a real professional broadcaster who went to professional broadcasting school. But yeah, he was doing it before anybody, and he had great content. Yes, Green Mobster. Dark web only uses cryptocurrency, I believe. That is exactly right. That is exactly right. It used to be a lot of Bitcoin, but now Bitcoin's so expensive that I don't think they're trading Bitcoin out in there that much anymore. I'm trying to remember this cryptocurrency that I own. It's going up it's going up in value because I think they're using it on the dark web now. Let me look at my trading. How's everybody's stocks doing? Mine are dead. The only two stocks I have that have went up is two pharmaceutical companies that I bought into. I bought some full shares in. One is one is Invax, and the other one is Moderna. And both of those two companies are working on. They're working on vaccines for the demon plague. And they just go up and down. Every time one of them has a breakthrough, the stock soars up, but then they find out, nope, it's not working, and then the stock drops back down. Let's see. Chevy Life says, "I was just trying to find meds to treat my son with asthma at home if needed." No, you probably won't find that. I doubt you'll find that kind of stuff on the dark web. And the problem, I would never take anything I got off the dark web, Chevy Life, because you really don't know exactly what's going to be in it. Like all these people who used to buy ecstasy and stuff off the dark web, I think that's insane because you have no idea if it's really ecstasy. You have no idea what's really in it. Ohioan says, "Change the subject, Rob. What do you have planned for your spring and summer?" Man, Ohioan, I have no idea at this point. I would like to get out and travel some, but that takes money, and that's something I don't have a whole lot of right now. Green Mobster, I have some Litecoin, Ethereum. I can never say Ethereum is pretty good too, but all I have basically tanked right now. Yep. So that's the one I have. That one is I have Litecoin. And I have the Ethereum, but I have the different version of it. What's it called? There's two Ethereums of the cryptocurrency. It is called Ethereum Classic. So the Ethereum Classic is what they're using now, I believe, on the dark web. So there's Ethereum, and then there's Ethereum Classic, and I think Ethereum's like $200 a share, and I think the Classic is $5, or not a share, a coin. Oh man, the Ethereum was $200 and something. Now it's all the way down to $138. per coin. Bitcoin, which was $9,000 per Bitcoin just a couple weeks ago, is at $6,642 right now. Chevy Life says, come back to Texas, man. Christina Harper says, do you know that they used aborted fetal cells in vaccines? Yep, I've heard that. Stem cells as well. Oh, later, Chevy man. Thanks for dropping in, Trav. Appreciate it. Green Mobster says, do you use Coinbase to track Rav? I use Coinbase. No, I just have the Robinhood app, and then I just look at it online. I have the I can't remember what it is. It shows your graphs. It shows all the, you can look at cryptocurrency, or you can look at all the stocks and the shares on the graph. That's the only things I have. I'll have to look into Coinbase. I think I've heard of that. All right, guys, we are at an hour and 35 minutes. I believe I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. We only have 8 people left in the room. I appreciate you guys all dropping in today. I hope everybody's taking care of themselves and practicing social distancing and, catching up on their Netflix flicks, because that's about all there seems to do. Not sure if I'm going to be doing this live stream. My office here is going to be going away eventually, so I'm just trying to take advantage of it while I have it. So I'm going to do live streaming as much as I can until I have to start moving stuff out of here. Not exactly sure when that's going to happen. It could be in a few days, or it could be a month. I have no idea. But anyway, guys, I'll be trying to put the notifications out there when I do live stream. I can't give you definite times right now because I'm not sure myself. But anyway, thank you guys again for joining me on another live stream here. I've really enjoyed it. If you're not familiar with my other channel, Nomad News, I'm going to be trying to get some news. I know I've said that like the last 4 live streams. I am going to try to get some news episodes up there while I still have my office, because it's much easier to do it in here. But anyway, guys, stay safe. Everybody practice social distancing and wash your hands. Peace. We'll see you the next live stream. Have a good evening, guys. Bye-bye.